Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly referee today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing Mongoose Publishing's outstanding science fiction RPG, Traveler, 2nd edition. And we are playing through their module, which I've already managed to misplace. Oh, it's right here. A slightly modified version of the Borderland Run. This is Reach Adventure 5. So if you are intending on playing the Borderland Run at some point, just be advised that there may be spoilers in this session. So proceed with that warning ahead. If you don't care about that, or if you've already played through the adventure, well then let me introduce you to the crew of the Rift Wanderer. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing? First up, we've got James.
Hey, I'm James, and I'm playing Captain Gani, who's busy loading things into the trunk of his air raft.
Yes, we got an interesting session before us. Next up is Graham.
Hi, I'm Graham. I'm playing Dane Loverick, a former Imperial Marines commander, now trying to escape from the premeditated violence that he has had to endure for many, many a term. And I suspect this session is not going to help.
There's going to be a lot of, cleaned up stuff with a mop frustration that's going to come boiling over today, I tell you. Next up is David.
Hi everyone, I'm David, and I'm playing Dr. Ilias, who is a gifted physician and scientist who swapped the laboratory for the petri dish of the Borderland sector and was secluded away poring over some data last time, so I have no idea what's happening today, but I'm quite excited for it.
It's going to be great. And last, but certainly not least, is Carl.
Hello, I am playing Anchor Guvel, who is a Vargur, which is an uplifted canine species, but he's not from Vargur space. He's actually ex-Imperial Navy, and he's signed on with the crew of this Rift Wanderer for adventure.
I'll mention as well that Carl is the host of the GMologist YouTube channel and podcast. So if you want to see Carl, you recently, I saw, posted a Halloween session playing the new Marvel game.
Yeah, we got to finish it Friday. So yeah, there's 2 parts to that. So
nice. Yeah. I'll amend it. I'll include a link to the GMologist YouTube channel in the description down below afterwards. But I saw that. I love it. I've only run it once, but I really like the prospects of that game.
Yeah, it's a nice game. Very simple system. I think the most complicated part is learning what your powers do, right? So
100%. Yeah, I agree. All right. So I don't think Carl or David was here last time, so you guys get to learn why you guys are back on Tech World now. So what happened last time, guys?
Yeah, Dr. Ilias, it's all your fault. And as usual, something goes wrong, it's basically down to
blame
you.
the scientist.
Yeah.
Which is why we're going to put a rifle in your hands and send you in first.
So what happened last time, guys?
Who is your strongest rival, Dr. Ilias? Tell us who it is.
I believe that would be a good Dr. Bancroft.
Oh, Dr. Bancroft. Dr. Mewling, I'm in trouble Bancroft. Which, we were on our way. Everything was fine. We were just heading off with the plan. And then we got a strangely encrypted, as I remember, or strangely provided message over the waves, which through some cunningness, which can't have come from Dane Loverick, we sort of basically deciphered that it was your greatest rival who was in trouble, and we suspect has been either kidnapped or held in some kind of way in his own laboratory, his own sort of facility, and for one reason or another, and someone will need to remind me exactly what that reason really was, we basically did a 180.
Now, I think
came back.
One thing I'll clarify. Did you guys think it was Bancroft?
Oh, did we?
Because there were, I believe, one and then one uncertain biological sign in his facility when you did the scans.
Yeah, but he's sort of clone-tastic, isn't he? I mean, they do all sorts of illegitimate, weird cloning stuff. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who is who? Who did what to whom? We don't know, do we?
Do not know, no.
No. So we're going back, and we suspect some premeditated violence, aforementioned, may be required to extricate your good mate and rival, Dr. Bancroft, from his situation.
Captain, do you recall anything else from them?
A lot of figuring out how we would. Well, we had to zone in on the location, and there was much toing and froing around how we'd actually find out info. But now we seem to have got a decent input of what we've got. It doesn't look a particularly hardened target, but
yeah. So let's.
It's something for Dane to get excited about.
We'll back up a bit. It was actually. Because it was Alonzo who was doing much of the work here, you guys did receive what seemed to be like I think it was that you received something that seemed to be a bit of static or a bit of like disruption. And because of his persistence, you pulled out something, the frequency that it was transmitted on seemed to be consistent with what some have identified or have attributed to the technology of the ancients, that millions of years dead species that's said to have, populated the galaxy with certain, like the Vargur, for instance, humans transplanted at different places throughout the galaxy on different planets other than Earth. And that led to, I guess it was the contents of the message that I think was of particular interest. And the message was help. So our heroes or travelers did some more calculations to figure out where this might have come from and how it might have reached here. And then when you guys, it was addressed to Dr. Ilias as well. When you guys return to orbit, you use some like 90s hacking chicanery of like bouncing a signal off of different things and whatnot to send back I think it was an inquiry back to Dr. Bancroft's office, and he insisted on knowing, well, who are you? Whoever is responding from Dr. Bancroft's facility, there's no, there does not appear to be any knowledge of whatever original message was sent to you. And I think that the way that you guys left it was by sending either like a similar kind of static as if it was from the ancients to replicate that same disruptive thing to engender some confusion on the base. If they're tinkering with ancients' technology, this would then make them think that perhaps the ancients are coming back to collect their property. You did identify where his base was, which was several, I think it's like 200 kilometers outside of the starport. And the rest of the planet is a legacy of the Sindalan punitive armada. So it's a hundreds of years dead, blasted radioactive landscape. But you found it. It seems to be on its own, and you guys. Oh, and you detected that there were only, while there does seem to be some other droids or robots that are being used in the facility, there is only one confirmed life form, and there is one that is reading as uncertain, and there are 2 security robots, and those are the I think we can assume you guys are in the lounge of the Rift Wanderer and kind of doing a breakdown of what the resistance is likely to be. Let me show you what... this is a typical G-Decode.
I've just come down from a meeting with Teletorial, who I had to assert social dominance over by just telling him that we were going to go back to do this. And that Aslan is not used to being told kind of what's happening. He's used to probably telling people what's happening.
Yeah.
So, I've got that in the bank already.
And you did... go ahead.
I think Anchor and Captain Gani will be running a lottery on to how many times Den can get away with that.
I think you did explain. Yeah. You explained the reason, right, for why. I think you explained the reason for why you were doing this as well, and that did seem to go over well with him. So
which bodes well, to be honest. Bodes well.
Yeah. So this is the standard G-Deco combat drone model. G-Deco will blow the fuck out of anyone who comes on your property.
Don't like the look of what those arms have got at the end of them.
No, they are armed with a laser rifle and equipped with combat software that allow them to have impressive accuracy and basic tactics as well.
Yeah.
As a reminder, you can use your tactics skill to assist with your with your initiative in combat. I'm sure you guys aren't going to get into combat, but the other thing I looked through because I was trying to get an idea of what security might be like. I think you can expect that there are likely to be camera drones as well at the facility. Those are typically... There's not going to be more than maybe like 2, and those are likely only deployed on an as-needed basis. Same thing with that, but otherwise the resistance here should be relatively minimal. The combat drones themselves are... Oh, they fly. Wonderful. Good news, guys. They're a little smaller than a human.
Okay.
So, they have IR vision. They have an alarm system. They have transceivers that are likely only to be able to contact locally. So they're not going to be able to contact the starport directly from each of these individual drones. And they've got a fair amount of other advanced software on them. Not something that you that cannot be handled with some appropriate application of force.
Yeah, they look expensive, which is a great shame.
Yeah, they're not cheap. Quite advanced as well. Yeah. So the other thing we talked about was where your ship would land, and that was, I believe, you're 10 kilometers away, just to. Because there were certain sensors that you wanted to take advantage of.
Yeah.
Or am I misremembering that? I know we talked about that. So for the neural activity scanner, that's the NAS, that's the ones you guys want to use. Close is 10 kilometers away at most, and short is 1,200 kilometers away.
Okay.
There was also talk of using the air raft as a way of... Or not an air raft, you guys have a... What is it? Wait, was it an air raft?
I think it is.
I've got an air raft, yeah,
okay.
An air raft.
Yeah.
The air raft is... very quick. It is not particularly durable, though, at least as far as things. So, it if you, as far as expectations go, you can expect that it's going to have about as much protection as, say, like a '90s Golf. So, which is to say, it might take a little bit of small arms fire, but it's probably not going to do much beyond that. And what this thing, 2 good hits from those drones are likely to slag that thing. So you're going to want to be either careful in the use of it, or make sure that you take out those drones before they're able to bring their weapons to bear.
Please do bear in mind that those air rafts are quite expensive as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've got the spreadsheet out.
This is how we really make decisions.
Yeah, I find that combat is not dictated by whether it's safe or not to your health. It's how much is it going to cost, right?
Yeah.
Especially like space combat. Like, we don't want to get into space combat because we're just going to bankrupt us.
There's a lunatic mercenary who served in the Congo conflict named Mad Mike Horror, which a nickname he gave himself because he's a fucking asshole. But his tactic was he would drive along and run machine gun fire into the woods to avoid ambush for the entire length of the trip. And it's like, it's a really effective technique. It's like, you are wasting thousands of fucking dollars on this stupid fucking technique. And everyone can hear you coming from miles fucking away, so no one's going to be there when you get there. Ugh, anyway. Congo was one of my areas of expertise in grad school, and he's always just been a fucking can't stand that guy.
He's neither the smartest nor the nicest individual.
No, he's just a total piece of shit all around. The only thing he's good at is self-promotion, or was good at. And he has shuffled off his mortal coil, and we're the world better for it. Anyway, so the other thing we were going to talk about was the jamming for going in to decide whether you wish to do that, because there are the facility is away from the starport, but there is security that they would likely be able to call on, and you can assume that they're probably going to respond as fact. It's 200 kilometers away, so it'll take them time to get here. An air raft is going to be one of the quicker, kind of fast response things. And even that, I think, takes at least half hour to get out here, if I recall from the last time. Let's see.
Yeah, I guess the plan is to air raft it as close to proximity as possible, and then disgorge and undertake a cautious assault.
Okay. So,
did his message say anything other than help?
No.
And it was in, it was definitely embedded in not the same types of correspondence that you received from whoever it was that tried to pay you the money. Mm-hmm. And whoever, although, you know what, you have not, in that information that was sent to you, you've been looking into the information itself, but you haven't actually looked into the electronic data. Like, it may very well be that there is something embedded in there.
Okay. All right.
This all would have happened as you guys were going back. You had plenty of time to try and decide what you wish to, further investigations and to confirm what your approach is going to be.
Well, who's got computers? Can we decipher it on the way in?
Yeah. Let's as well roll for luck. Everyone give us a D6 roll. Let's see how much luck you're working with today.
Yeah.
1. A great start.
Okay, 13. Lucky 13 today. It's a shame we're outside of October. All right, so then, who would like to make the thing? What is it? Electronics comms roll?
Comms. Okay. Who's got comms?
I have comms at 1.
Okay.
Comms, where are we?
Under electronics, it's special.
Electronics, you could use computers as well. I think the thing with computers is that this is not necessarily software you're trying to get out or things, so the difficulty might be a little bit higher for that.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how many things we can do. I'm probably flying. I have grav specialty.
You definitely would have time for this. You're not. We could assume that this is happening while you guys are making your way towards, back to the planet. So you're not like, zipping and zooming around stuff.
All right. So I have comms at 1. I mean, anyone else?
I have computers and
Beats me.
sensors.
Okay, go right ahead, Anchor.
Same.
Okay.
Oh,
go.
nice.
Very nice. There is a near identical message embedded in the data that Dr. Ilias had received.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have the same like disruptive wavelength to it for that the other did. Because I think that the reason you thought it was a weird glitch in the sensors, and it was because it was I'm gonna keep calling him something different. Alonzo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Alonzo. One of my best buddies from law school was Adolfo, and then Adolfo we would regularly call Aboganza, which is a long way of saying when I call Alonzo Aboganza, that will be why. When Alonzo picked it up, they thought it was just like something with the sensors, and it was only with investigation they realized it was this message. You can tell it's embedded in here. It is definitely the same message, but it is. There isn't anything specific in the message or the content or whatnot that would suggest the same kind of tech. So whatever, the transmission off planet may have used different technology than what a message on Tech World would have done. So now, Dr. Ilias, in your experience with Dr. Bancroft, do you think that he would be the type to ask for help from you?
No, I think I was probably his last resort, or just fortuitously, as we had arrived on Tech World when whatever was going on went down. I don't think it would have been his first natural call for help, seeing as we left on rather unfriendly terms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What a strange and conflicted relationship you have with this Bancroft, I reckon, Dr. Ilias. I mean, your biggest rival, and yet he's coming to you.
Maybe he's finally realized I am the better out of the two of us.
Oh, I'm sure that must be the case. Yeah.
They did work together for a number of years on the project, too.
Yeah. So I think it speaks to his desperation and potentially the levels of danger we are facing.
Okay.
Or it's a trap.
Dr. Ilias, would you give us let's see here. I think it'll be, I can't remember. Do you have science genetics?
Yes.
Give us a science genetics roll, please. Something that Alonzo had said. Nat 20, or not Nat 20, but...
Whoa.
Yeah.
Fabulous. All right, so Dr. Ilias, there's just something that Alonzo had said about the Ancients tech, and you do a quick search of your resources. I think that references to the Ancients is the kind of thing that has to show up in every rudimentary, biology textbook that is anywhere in the Third Imperium, but the amount that is of useful information that fills it up is probably a page or two, or maybe it's a call out in a paragraph or two, because obviously the level of genetic technology or genetic manipulation technology available to the Ancients is mind-blowing. The fact that they were able to transplant humans successfully onto a number of different planets. They were able to uplift the Vargur and transplant them all over. So setting aside the other wonders of technology, the things that are specific to your field, they were able to create stable offshoots of humanity in a variety of different alien environments without apparently any kind of issue of adapting to a completely alien biome, and they managed to create an entire successful sentient species by way of the Vargr. So the level of effective genetic manipulation that they were able to achieve is just mind-blowing. But how they went about doing it is frustratingly small, the pool of information. However, I think with a roll that good, you are able to think, wait a minute. And you go back to that data. You know, I mentioned that there was your work, Dr. Ilias's work, and there was something else in there. You have a feeling that what he may have been working on is, or at least have access to, is some kind of information relating to ancients and genetic manipulation. Manipulation. That is a tricky word for my tongue.
Yeah, I've got a bad feeling about this.
Mm-hmm.
His hands are definitely not the right hands for that sort of information.
Well, and yours are, Dr. Ilias, is that right?
I'd like to think so.
Well, you would, yeah. Yeah, of course you would. Well, let's find out, shall we?
Yeah.
Captain Ganny, Anchor. Oh, James, I've lost your camera altogether. Let me see if I've...
Have you?
Yeah. It could be on my end here. Let me hit reconnect on my side.
It's your end.
I got everybody back in. All right. So, we know you're, because of the scan you've completed, we know that you're going to be about 10 kilometers away from here. Did you intend to jam on the way down?
If we jam, though, are they gonna? They'll know we're coming, right? I mean,
They definitely would. But without it, they will be able to send a message back to the spaceport, which may elicit a security response. So let me tell you what the difficulty is for jamming here first, and then you guys can make the decision. Yeah, it'll be an opposed electronics comms check. And that is done every, I think, rounds for space combat. Are they 10 minutes or 20 minutes? 6 minutes. So they're neither. They're neither, Madison. So I guess one way to think of it is that if, I mean, that's 6 minutes, but...
yeah.
What do you guys think? I don't want to make the decision for you. If you guys feel that you can get in, get out before the things, let's give you a visual of what to expect from the facility. The facility is built alongside a fairly extensive power station, so it's going to look larger than necessary, but also... And you should not take them to be as... the entire facility is not for use by your rival, Dr. Ilias. It is simply that this is... making use of an otherwise, processing facility for perhaps water or atmospheric processing, or who knows.
Yeah.
This.
Do we have a schematic of the target?
You do, but I mean, it's largely just going to be it is not much the facility that he's making use of. There's a laboratory, there's a storage area, there's a living quarters, and then there's like a cargo kind of area. The way, here we go.
It's fine as long as we've got enough to go on just to get in.
Yeah.
You may also be able to, here we go, this is the entrance that he would use for it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now,
Yes.
in addition to that, and that is probably located somewhere around, like down in here. There is also the rest of the facility that is operating as a, like an atmospheric reclamation kind of process. Which is to say that there's other electronic distractions, visual distractions, and whatnot that you can take advantage of. This is also kind of, as you can see, located in a bit of a, not a canyon per se, but in sort of near a taller outcropping, 100 feet or so.
Yeah. And that's the way in, right? There's no subsidiary or secondary ancillary ways that one can access the base.
You might be able to. You would have to get closer access. I think the scans you've got right now have the rough layout of how to get in. There likely is some kind of connection between the two because, if you're building your own mad scientist bunker, why not take advantage of existing, infrastructure, draw on power from that as opposed to whatever. As long as the council agrees to it, then you're fine.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys wish to scan for or try and observe before you make your plan for going in?
But do we want to, I guess, Captain Dane, do we want to jam them or not?
I was thinking that, or physically jam them by, if there's a way of knocking out the comms.
That's interesting. Why don't you give us a...
Yeah.
I think I've been using a scan here. Because if you can sneak in there...
Ideally, we want to arrive without them knowing, but...
There would likely be the two cam drones in addition to the security drones. The security drones are likely only to be deployed. They're on limited power. They're likely only to be deployed upon need. But the cam drones will likely be out. Okay, so here we go. All right. So the electronic sensors and this will be Ooh. Do you want to use passive use is just you're making your normal electronic sensors roll. Active use gives you a +2 to your roll or to your skill.
Okay.
Does active increase our signature?
Active does, yeah. They're aware it's pinging them.
We could try to do it subtly.
And EM has full. For detecting individual systems, you are able to detect that completely at this range, at 10 kilometers away. So you actually don't need to use radar. Someone want to give us a electronic sensors roll?
Is that also comms again?
No, that's electronic sensors.
Okay.
I've got sensors 2.
Yeah, go.
Oof, somebody's got better.
No, that's about. I got the same, but I'm flying, so I'm probably paying attention to that. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, whoa, come on.
All the 11 day. There's a very November theme to our rolls today.
Wow.
Wow.
So what? Yeah, Captain, you are able to pinpoint precisely. Like some of these sort of hastily made places, this has only one sort of central unit. They haven't bothered to install redundancies. So there is one point that on this thing that can be damaged or otherwise disrupted. The drones, likewise, to the security robots, they only have a range of less than 50 kilometers. So if you're able to take out that transmitter, then they should have no way of contacting the what do you call it? Contacting the starport. So then, it's a question of how you choose to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Can we determine where in the facility the comms array is?
The comms array is actually on the exterior. You would be able, with a roll that good, Captain Ganny, forgive me, has identified a place that could be disrupted on the exterior. And that's either breaking in and then sabotaging it, or just applying force. I mean, you guys have weapons on this boat, right?
With Dane.
There's going to be a day where I'm not going to be able to make
cruel.
that joke anymore, but I'm going to enjoy it while I can.
God. So I guess we jam what we can. We go in nap of Earth. We go in fast. We go in.
Well, so
to
make it clear that you're not the sensors or the ability to transmit, that is not automatic, right? They still have to actually see you. And as much as they would like to think that this is a panopticon, kind of society, that is just not the case. There are two drones, so particularly if with careful use of like tactics or observation, a skill or a task chain to that effect might give you guys an opportunity to identify a way of getting in there, and you could easily damage the sensor, the transmitting unit, without alerting the cam drones or the activating the security robots. Trouble is then you would be in there, and while they can't let the spaceport know, they likely could then deploy the drones.
Yeah, that's fine. So, if we can have any sort of indication of the security pattern of the drones.
Yep.
See if we can either navigate through that pattern to establish a cutoff of comms, or to intercept drones in the exterior of the facility and take them out. Whichever, and
Dane, why don't you give us a tactics roll, please?
Well, okay. Let's see, shall we? No.
That's only one
But
off
with
from a
a
success.
point of luck,
Yeah.
I make an 8.
Yeah. So if you're looking at this stuff, like the way that this is set up,
Cheers.
this is not your first time to the let's invade remote bunker rodeo. So you can tell what is likely to happen here is as soon as it goes, it is likely to be that the two security drones are going to be deployed from the if they become aware of your presence, they're going to deploy the security drones, and then they will go into or combat drones, I think they're called, in a very kind of specific, typical type of like search pattern. Or they will respond to what the cam bots kind of see. If there's two cam bots out here, those things are a lot less durable than what the combat drones are. And
Okay.
yeah, like those. See, there's a bunch of robots that are simply called flying guns. Awesome. Okay, where is it here? I will mention, I'm looking forward to a second edition version of it coming out, but the Starports supplement for first edition Mongoose Traveler has a ton of really helpful like stats for security, suggestions for what like different qualities of starports might have access to as far as like emergency response teams.
Yeah.
So good food or fodder for your imagination. Where am I here? Here we go. Yeah, like they're fairly sturdy, but like one solid shot, even with a sidearm, would take out a cam drone. So, what that tells you is that there is currently 2 or 3 cam drones that'll be drifting around out here, searching for you. That's the pattern you can likely pick up right now, but the combat drones are not going to be an issue unless you're spotted. And once spotted, they will either go to wherever you were spotted by way of the networked, drones, or they will go into a search pattern if there's just general things. So what is likely to happen is if you're spotted by the cam drones, it'll go to where the cam drone sees you, or if it gets taken out to wherever the last location the cam drone was, and then conduct a search. Or on the comms unit going down, they may just deploy in general and can then immediately go into a search pattern. So those are the 2 things. Now, before we start making rolls, though, because let's figure out what your plan is here, and then once we start rolling, that'll be the plan in action. Who all is heading into the facility? Everybody? Except for Tila Toro?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are basic kind of like EV suits that are in the ship's locker. Does anyone have... I don't think, Dane, you've got more heavy armor, don't you?
Yeah, I have a polycarapace with cloth.
Okay. Anyone else have any other heavier equipment or armor they wish to use?
I'm wearing cloth, and I've got my Gauss pistol with me and mag rifle in the trunk.
And I think
Dane will know that his Gauss rifle's more use than that.
I think we said that... Is it that it's thin atmosphere or that it is breathable atmosphere? I can look it up again, but I just if someone happens to remember.
You said it was like as if we were at, say, 3,000 meters of height.
Right, that's right. Yeah. So you guys are good. So you're not going to need any... on extended, exertion, you may need some oxygen, but otherwise you'll be fine. Dr. Elias?
Yeah, but he has cloth armor and a Gauss pistol as well, and obviously he'll bring his medikit.
Okay.
You mentioned something about a radioactive barren wasteland. So how radioactive are we talking?
It has been since treated. This is part of what this... yeah, exactly. How cancerous are we talking here? Or is it,
just double checking.
Should I bring my rat-away injections? Anything else that you guys wish to bring with you? Oh, apart from your air car, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, tell me how you plan on approaching this. We still can't do the... Your role was just to figure out what the deployment might be. If you guys wish to try and avoid these... the security drones or the sensors, the cam bots, I'm happy to have you guys go through a task chain and see if you can't get some bonuses to your stealth roll.
That'll be good. I mean, the sorts of things we'll be looking for will be avoiding the drones where we can, finding probably useful terrain in the near vicinity of the... Well, I haven't looked at your map now. Sorry, I've just looked at the video. Yeah, there's not much going on there. If there's any, sort of side part of the cavern, of the crevice that we could use as a way of providing some sort of flanking cover as we go in, just checking out fire lanes. I mean, the Gauss rifle's got a 600-meter range, so it's not short-range weapon. So it's about maybe setting up some sort of fire position that might be useful.
The air raptor,
sort of thing.
It can. Forgive my ignorance on it, but it's not like a Star Wars speeder where it's got to run nape of the earth. It can actually fly, right?
Yeah.
It can go to orbit.
You can do orbit.
So then, I mean, the cambots are likely to be on the ground. So if you wish to try and approach, the cover you're going to have from higher up is not going to be great, but if it's got a 600-meter range, you could very easily get yourself on the top of that canyon and get a shot down to where that sensor unit is. You may even be able to take out those cambots.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, there's something about...
I keep saying sensor unit. The comm unit is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so then why don't you give us... let's get things rolling, Dane, with another tactics roll, please.
Okay. Let me just get to Dane. And submit. Oh, God.
Well,
heaven.
Two luck would give you a +1 to the next dice roll.
Should we go with that? Sorry, I'm burning luck here with shit rolls.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. So currently you're at a +1. Does anyone else have any planning that they think might benefit?
I feel this is very much out of Dr. Ellis's comfort zone, and he will happily follow Dane's every word and order on this and try not to mess it up.
Anything on sort of jamming sensors or comms would be good on the way in. Or
so whether you guys are
comms.
choosing to jam or not is still open. I thought that what the plan was take out by taking out the comm unit on the bunker, that was to prevent, that would effectively do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Captain Ganny, do you have any other ideas for what you might make use of?
No, I mean, I got to be following the Marine on this one.
Who's driving?
Yeah, I can drive.
Excellent. Perhaps a fading pattern of entry on the grav vehicle.
Yeah, I can swing on round, and if we're trying to get onto the roof to try and take out, say, transmitters, then can do that.
Okay. So why don't you give us a what is it? Piloting
grav. Fire grav.
Yeah.
Yep.
Check, please. You got +1. This.
Oh, so one better than that.
Okay, so it's a 7. So currently, you are failing, which you give a -1. You could spend 1 luck and then gain a +1. You could spend 2 luck to gain +2 on your next roll.
Another +1 then.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, actually, if they chain forward, so it'd be the +1.
Okay.
This would feed through. So this will now be the stealth roll, please. And this will be contested. Excuse me. I actually forgot to grab the TAS dice for this. Can't run the game without proper equipment, right? So here we go. All right, so 8. Did that include the +1?
It did not.
Did not.
9.
Okay, so 9. All right, so let me roll for the drones. Okay. All right. So what we would see is this facility. You can see there are very few things moving on here. There's the sound of the atmospheric processor kind of chugging away, and you would see there are these small little probe droid style, not probe droid, but the little like ball droid style cam units that are drifting around over here. And as one of them sort of passes by a higher portion of the facility, we would see the air raft come riding up, Captain Ganny with his goggles on, scarf jauntily tossed around his neck, flowing Isadora Duncan style behind him.
Yeah, let's not go with that one.
No wheels on this thing, so hopefully You'll be okay. And what is the plan? So you guys have arrived here successfully. No one at the top of this sort of formation. So you're looking down on this now. I said about 100 feet, so that's probably about 30 meters up above. What are you guys intending on doing next? You have from here, Dane, a clear shot on the comm unit on the bunker, and you have clear shots on the 3 droids as well, or the 3 cam bots.
Okay, so maybe start with the cam bots.
Okay. If you miss the cam bots, they're not very bright. But if you miss the cam bots, the worst case scenario here is then they would notify the facility, which would likely deploy the security bots, and it might send a signal back to starport.
Okay.
Okay, so make these shots. All right, so let's talk about... See, I think you can aim as minor action.
Aim up to 6 times, yeah.
So you can take your sweet time there. So +6 to that. It is a moving target. So I'll give you a +5. And then the range on this... where's my referee screen? It actually had the range. Are you just using a bog standard Gauss rifle?
It is the boggest of standard Gauss rifles, yeah.
All right. And I think range
and I
is
do not have grenades. I'm afraid.
Okay.
Shame. I've got very little.
Okay, so if the target lies within 1/4 of the weapon's range score, which it is, you gain a +1 to all attack rolls. So that's back up to +6.
Yeah.
And... Ooh. Oh, it is a Gauss rifle, so it is going to, as they say, have a heavy report.
It's not quiet.
So
supersonic slugs or darts firing away. It's noisy.
Let's just so we're clear how the game mechanics will work. Then this first shot you're going to get +6 to hit on because of the aiming, because of the range, because of everything, right? As soon as that sound gets down there, because there is an atmosphere here, then they may have opportunities to respond to whatever you're doing. And each round is 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So unless you are aiming once again, then you'll be back down to the to 0, no modifier, because it's their speed is offset by the range.
Yeah.
You feeling confident of those shots?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
That's a little rusty. All right, so let's get that first shot off then. Why don't you tell us what it's like for him to line up this first shot?
Jesus Christ.
Is there a combat tab on the character sheet? Like, is there a way of rolling the attack with the weapon?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's just let's do that. Sorry.
Okay.
Let's do that.
No, that's fine. We'll keep your 12. That's a great fucking roll.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that. I'm just wondering if it does post like all the combat stats and the damage and stuff.
Not sure. I've just tried to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just try that again.
Okay.
Put in the 6. Submit. Doesn't seem to do that. Why does it not do that? Yeah, I hit the roll. It does bring up the input value.
Yeah.
Pop in the value. I press submit. Doesn't seem to come through. Don't know why.
You're not adding a plus sign, right?
Oh, there's no information in the damage section of that weapon.
Yeah, let me just pretend I was shooting.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so the damage would have been what for a Gauss rifle?
4D.
4d6. Okay, so 4d6. Oh, sorry. Let's see if it works with 4D or if you just put d6. Okay, it works. Wait.
Yeah, you need to put 4d6 plus
Yeah.
whatever.
There we go.
Okay, let me just try that.
There we go. All right, so I got it working. Go ahead and so just go ahead and you roll for damage. Oh, what is the AP for? I got. I can look this up instead of asking. I've got the fucking screen in front of me.
It's 3.
AP is 3.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, Ghost Rifle AP 5. Auto is 3.
Is it 5?
Yeah. Oh, so that's the other question. You've got auto fire on here.
Oh yeah.
So
I want to try and take as many out as I can. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what we can do with auto. So auto 3 can make a single shot, which is just a 1. Oh, there we go. The burst, it adds the auto score to damage, and full auto make a number of attacks equal to the full auto score. They can be made at separate targets so long as they're all within 6 meters. So you wouldn't be able to hit them all within this range, but you could, if you fired a 3-round burst, you could add +3 to your damage, or you can just do the single shot. You're fairly confident, like, this thing is going to fuck up those drones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Do a single shot. Then.
Single shot. Okay, so a single shot goes off, and this thing it is completely vaporized by the shot. There's nothing but fragments and shrapnel around. With an AP 5 and 15 points of damage, this is the equivalent of taking a baseball bat to a Christmas ornament. So then, however, we're going to drop into initiative. So, with these sheets, I don't know if you need to click on your token before you click on initiative, but we are going to deploy. Because I think these will be coming out next, or activating at least this round, and deploying shortly thereafter. Let's give them...
Specifically says select token first.
I think... Oh, it says you have to select tokens first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I make my tactics check for an effect on our initiative?
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Shall I give that a go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everyone has been deferring to you on this. Is the tactics an 8 for that roll?
It's basically, it's down to what effect I get. That is the bonus.
Right, so then it must be rolling against an 8. As you do, because the effect is the...
Well, let's see how I do. It's not really been that good, no.
Let me make a roll for the Cambots. Oh, I rolled terribly. There's absolutely no way that you guys are acting after the Cambots. I rolled a 4. So I'm not going to bother doing the actual math on that. Let's see here.
Yeah, there's the initiative button you can use.
Oh, is there? Right, thank you.
And then that'll put it on the tracker.
Right. Initiative. I will find that. Is that in combat?
It's just above the weapon, between armor and weapons.
Thank you. It's worse.
So we'll just use this for our Cambots here. All right.
Yeah.
So there are 2
Let's get
left.
some cover. Let's get some cover.
All right, so Cambots are definitely after you guys. Yeah. Oh, you know, there's that new button for descending. All right. So then, that shot. Actually, I'll put them up closer to you guys. That shot echoes throughout the corridor, Dane, you're up. You have a significant action and a minor action. What would you like to do?
Minor action aim, significant action. So what are my targets? My targets are the...
So I've got the... Let me put these on the GM's layer. They're not out yet.
Okay. In which case, I will go for another cambot.
Okay, so you have +1 net to hit on this. Remember, don't put the plus sign in.
Okay, thank you. That's probably what caught me out last time. Let's try that. Better.
You did put the plus sign in. Do not put the plus sign in.
Oh, do not put the plus sign in.
That's okay.
Should I try that again, or does that...
Yeah, please do. Yeah, go ahead and roll again.
My apologies.
No, that's
damn
okay.
it.
Yeah, especially if you use Foundry all the time, so like it's
Yeah.
different. And that is good enough.
That's a straight hit. 17 damage with AP 5.
Now, let's see here. Did you take out my... Yeah. Oh, you're trying to trick me there, Dane. Taking out my initiative tracker. Well, I saw through your tactics. Another shattered Christmas ornament. Captain Ganny.
I guess I'll take a shot. What distance is it?
So from here down to where they are is probably around 30 meters.
Oh, in that case, yeah, then.
It's nothing.
Rifle with a...
Come on, let's have
What are
it.
you using? What kind of rifle?
I'm using a Magrel rifle. So I'll fire it on...
Woohoo!
I'll fire it on single shot.
What's the range thing for that?
150.
150. So then this is within... Yeah, so you get the +1 for the range, -1 for their speed. If you're going to aim, +1. So it'll be a net +1 to your roll.
Is that with a plus?
Sorry?
Is that with a plus?
It is not with a plus. Whoa!
Hey!
You want to spend some luck?
Yeah, let's use 2 luck.
Yeah,
Just get it over and done with.
All right. What's the AP of the mag rifle or mag rail?
None.
None. Okay, so this one does not cleanly, pass through this thing the way the other does. It hits and it spins off. It's absolutely destroyed, but the penetrating power of the Gauss rifle is just clearly a superior weapon.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Ilias, other than covering your ears, what are you doing?
I think for now that's what he'll do. He'll have his gun ready, so he'll get his gun out, slightly nervously shaking, and it's quite atmospheric because I can hear bonfire fireworks outside, so it's nicely in the zone. But he'll just probably keep an eye out because we heard mention of security drones, and so just keep an eye out to see when they appear.
All right. So then the last thing that'll happen this round is in the wrong there. In the film version, come on, Madison, there we go, of our campaign, what we would see is in the darkness of the alcove of this facility, we'd see a bunch of lights go on for the GDCO combat drones. GDCO, if you have visitors and don't want them, we can handle that. Top of the round, Dane, what are you doing? You have a clear shot on that comm, if you like. The drones are not outside.
If there's any way we can sort of... I'm desperate to get to some kind of cover rather than it's just been hovering above. But, I mean, that's probably not my shout on my initiative, so I will aim and fire at one if I can.
Okay, so they're still inside the facility, but there is the comm unit. I think wasn't that the reason you guys were...
Okay, in which case I will aim for the comm unit and try and take that out.
Yeah. Are you going to do it all like this second? Get it done? Or are you...
Yep.
Then go ahead.
Aim and then fire.
Okay, go right ahead.
Aim to please.
This is actually a larger target, so you can get plus 3 total for it. Wait, aim plus the range plus the size plus 4 to your roll. No plus sign then. I should have say add 4 to your roll.
I'm on it.
Nice.
1985.
Sparks fly out, and that thing will not be. And again, another echoing down the canyon as that Gauss rifle goes off. Captain Ganny.
Home, country road.
Captain Ganny, what are you doing?
I guess I'd be waiting to see if anything else comes out, so I'll just keep an eye out for anything popping out of...
Okay. Now I get to roll initiative 4.
And I'll switch it to auto.
Ooh, they have a
Or burst.
So they're going to roll
Switch it to
tactics
burst.
first. Okay. And then their initiative. Ooh. Okay. So let's do this.
Yeah, they're so nice.
Okay. Dane, you're up next. What would you like to do?
Okay. Well, as ever, I'm scanning for targets. Are they visible?
You cannot see anything as of yet.
Arse. Okay. In which case, I'll do something cunning. Is there like a wait action?
There is. You mentioned cover as well. You can. Duck behind cover to inflict a -2 dice modifier for range attacks against you.
Yeah, I'll try and get cover if I can. I don't know how that's possible, whether I can
Oh, that's actually a
sort of
reaction.
Halo-like leap out of the air raft and land on the facility and find cover.
Oh, well, I mean, the gravity is the same as Earth here, so that would be depending on whether you've got any kind of gravitas stuff in your...
Only if I think I can do it. You know, it's...
Probably not.
If not, then I'm going to have to wait.
Oh, God, I broke my knees! Jesus! Just shoot me in the head and put me out of my misery! All right, so you have your cover and... trying to see what readying an action is like in this game.
Trying to find it.
Yeah, I don't see one.
No, I don't see one.
So probably the way I'd rule it then is just if you choose to try and interrupt these things, we just make a contested initiative roll.
Okay.
And
yeah,
if you
sure.
succeed, you go first. If not, otherwise they get to go.
Yep.
So you got yourself down there. Then Captain Gani, what are you doing?
Now, sorry, I've done something stupid. We're in the still in the air raft.
You guys have deployed from the air raft. You guys are on top of.
Yeah, so
up here.
I'll lie down on the top of there and try and just peek over the edge, as it were.
Okay.
As you say, to use the cover of the edge of the roof.
Okay, you got it. So you've got that. Then on their turn, let's see here. Okay. Let's see what their speed is. Because they can fly.
I always thought there was something for waiting and holding, but no, there isn't.
It could be in Cepheus. That seems to have some aspects of it are a little more complex than the... complex is a potentially pejorative word. A little more detailed than the Mongoose one. So what happens is these two fly out of the facility. They're not moving particularly quick. They're a little faster than what a human on foot could do, but not much faster. I am making... recon roll for them. Okay. So they are scanning. You have a clear shot here, Dane, if you'd like. Ditto for Captain Gani.
Sure. Is that a +1?
That is +1 for short range. Yeah, because this is a reaction you're trying to take, so you're not going to take a minor action on top of that. So,
okay.
Yeah, so but +1 for the range. They're not as fast as what the other things were.
All right.
And Captain Gani, you can likewise same modifiers, +1 if you choose.
Cool.
Okay, let's go. Let's take them out. You take the left one, I take the right one. Let's go.
All right.
Oh, come on!
Gauss rifle, amazing.
Nice.
So 8.
Doing it with a burst of 6.
Okay.
Oh.
So that'll be 4 luck if you want to make that a hit.
So I think my damage might be 23.
what is the Ghost Rifle damage?
It's 4D, which is there, but I've got an effect number of 4.
Oh, right. Hold on. That plays in. Oh, let's see here.
Is that right? Am I making that up? Am I just being overly enthusiastic?
Yeah, I thought you just hit.
So you're. Yeah, I don't think that's. I don't think you add your dice modifier or the effect to damage.
I'm mixing the streams.
No, you do in like Warhammer, Warhammer Fantasy and Malus or Malleus, whatever the fuck it's called, Imperium Maledictum. Yeah, you don't get to add your effect, unfortunately, to this. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah. I've played too many games. That's my problem.
No, same thing. But it's good to double check. Look, it's so rare we have combat in this game that it's good to, to remind ourselves how that works. And I do really like that mechanic. Like it's something I love about both of those Warhammer games. But in any event, so that is a solid hit. Here is an interesting contrast in weaponry. Dane, that AP5 Gauss rifle hits this thing, and so that means punches a hole in the armor, and there is sparks and whatnot flying out of this thing. The mag rail rifle.
Guys?
Now hold on. Did that include the bonus to damage?
No, I'd get 21 damage.
20. Oh, she fired a burst of 6.
Yeah.
Okay. So then that is. There is a lot more because of the amount of. What do you call it? The amount that you've put into this thing. There is more damage, but there's a lot more rounds that are ricocheting off of the armor on this thing. So that was a reaction. So Dr. Ilias, it sounds like hell is being unleashed in this canyon. What do you want to do, if anything?
How far away are the drones?
Sure. So you look over.
So what
weapon are you using?
A Gauss pistol, so I think they're probably out of range.
Oh, Gauss pistol. Hold on.
I think it's 20, range of 20.
Oh, hold on. That just means it will be in extreme range then, because I think short range is 1/4 of the weapon range score. Long range is beyond the range of it, but less than twice. So you'll take -2 to your dice modifier when you're making the attack roll.
Oh, yeah, because I would happily take a pot shot at one of them.
Okay. So then that'll be, if you're aiming as well as a minor action, then that'll be a plus, or -1 to your roll.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
No.
Yeah, that was this is not his forte.
Oh boy. Okay. There are no fumbles in this game, but I think what happens is you go over and start like squeezing the trigger, and you hear over the comm from Dane, "Safety's on."
Yes. Safety first. Safety only.
Yeah. All right.
Not now, Doctor. Not now.
Dane, you're up. What are you doing?
Yeah, sorry, I've just double checked. It probably doesn't matter, Kev, but under damage, under page 77, it says, upon a successful attack, damage is rolled for with the effect of the attack roll added to the total.
Oh, it is. Okay, great. What was your effect?
It's in there.
Oh, it's in the damage you rolled?
So it's not in there, so it would have been a 23.
Would have been 23. Okay, so I'm another 4 points of damage. Sorry, I read that fucking paragraph and completely overlooked it.
No. It's really buried. It's really buried.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a great shot. Well, it's great. So this game does use a mechanic I like. So that's good. Awesome. All right, so then Dane, your action. What are you doing?
Okay, so what's the situation? We got 2 still up, have we?
2 still up that have, one nearly down. You guys can see the health bars, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so
yeah.
One is almost utterly destroyed. One is has taken a series of hits.
Okay. This time I can take an aim, right?
You can, yeah.
And it is short, so I can do a +2. Is that still the case?
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, add 2 to your roll.
Okay. I'm on there. No plus. Here we go.
Okay. Oh, solid hit.
Oh, man.
Oh, so that utterly destroys. There's one solid hit and then a second shot, and this thing slams down slag in the ground.
And they're not fortuitously 6 meters apart from each other, are they?
They are not, unfortunately, no. And Captain Gani, that is another hit. That is...
That's 23. So that's effective 3, right?
Yeah.
Effective 3, so
that's
26. 26, okay. So that'll be enough to shred that one as well. With the 2 of them down, what do you guys wish to do next?
Okay, go! Gonna head for the entrance.
Well, you'll have to get to the air raft first, and then make your way down.
Okay. Yep.
Right.
Air raft.
You guys pile back in the air raft, and bring it down. You can hear the sound of the atmospheric processor chugging away, and when you reach the bottom of the canyon, it is towering. Oh, fuck off. Thing. And this is where you will be standing.
Yeah. Such a good image.
Okay.
Wow.
So, there's smoke coming up from where the comm unit has been taken out. The doors are sealed. There are some crates that are sitting out there, suggest that they're not really concerned about anyone coming in and making off with stuff. How do you guys wish to approach this?
Cautiously, classic, sort of on the edges. You can hear the ceramic.
Anchor's back. Guys, I miss anything? And there's 2 smoldering combat drones on the ground.
Oh, nice.
So, what's happened, Carl? Well, I'll let you guys tell Carl what has happened.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to take care of something.
No, that's okay.
All right. So what happened?
We have taken out the cam bots pretty quickly because they were light, but we alighted onto the top of the facility, found cover, and then pretty clinically, before actually the security bots could really do very much, we just basically destroyed them with pinpoint fire.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We're now heading down on the air raft to the entrance, and we are looking to make an entrance through the door, which looks to be closed. So we're going to make a cautious but quick move towards the entrance, keeping to the sides. Mm-hmm. Our sort of polyceramic armor will make a clanking noise against the sort of metallic flooring as we head on to that.
Okay. So, as it probably befits its name, Tech World has some very high-tech security. So this is not a matter of picking a physical lock. It will be a matter of using computers to convince this thing to get open. So, who would like... Let me see here. This is likely to be...
Now, is there intrusion? No, there isn't intrusion.
Well, that's a good question, actually. There might be...
I'm just making stuff up as I'm going along.
No, a lot of the stuff it's. I like how they've got the different tasks nested under each of the skills to give you an idea of what might be used where. It's just there's a couple of things like recon. Like I always want to say perception or spot or something like that instead of recon, when that seems to be the skill you're using. I don't see anything else. So I think it's electronics, but if you guys have...
Yeah. Who has computers? Anyone
I have
good at
computers.
Dr. Ellis?
Mechanic could also be used, I think, to to bypass the system.
Oh, a mechanic then is my thing.
Nice. Okay, so you've got your...
Are you going to wrench it open?
Yep. He smiles and pulls a spanner out.
So why don't you go ahead and give us a mechanic roll, please.
Oh,
Beautiful. The door opens up, and you can see that it's like you see in here, where like the first door is open, and there are 2 alcoves in the side where likely those security drones were nested. And then there is, of course, a lot of like very subtle Geodico branding all the way inside here as well, too, in the different devices. Geodico, we fund secret science to benefit you. Mostly us, but also you. What this opens up, though, is into the main corridor itself. And you could kind of picture, like, I think, because I've seen it recently, but if you picture, like, the interior of a modern, like, larger Antarctic research station or something like that, with like wide, low corridors made out of metal, lots of interior lighting. You don't really get a sense of what the outside is like in here, but it's not dark or dingy or anything like that. The corridor goes straight down, and then it seems to go off in a couple of directions. Directly forward seems to be where the cargo area is, and then it branches off in different. There's going to be like a living, or there's doors on one side, doors on another side. And then the corridor dog legs down at the end to the left. And you can hear the sound. None of you need to make recon rolls for this, but you can hear the sound of metal feet stepping on the metal grating. Clink, clink. Something is approaching. It's not heavy. What would you guys like to do?
Any sort of cover here at all?
There's probably, like, the classic, like, beams that section off these prefab units. Yeah. You can kind of duck behind one of those things.
Yeah.
So if you do so, what walks around the corner? And you can see it's got, like, the emoticon upset face on its holographic display. You are intruders and are not welcome here. I must ask you to leave. We are alerting authorities.
No, you're not. You may think you are. Where is the good doctor?
Dr. Bancroft is at work and cannot be disturbed. Warning, failure to leave will result in prosecution and imprisonment.
Thank you. Take us to the doctor.
It looks sad. The doctor is busy and cannot be disturbed. Kindly leave.
Shoot the thing.
Yeah, I think so. Type burst.
Yep, it's gone. You don't even make a roll for it. These things are not designed for combat.
Sure.
So, what would you guys like to do next? Dr. Ilias, you're familiar with enough with these things. Scientists are many things. Excellent navigators are not one of them. There is likely to be some kind of, like, auto display of where different things are in this facility.
Yeah, look for a control panel and just bring up the floor map.
One of the benefits of this being a prefab unit is you don't have to look far. You're like, oh, okay. And you hit this thing and it kind of like opens up. It does seem, I'm trying to think let me make an intelligence roll for Dr. Bancroft. Or intellect. I'm not sure if he would have the wherewithal to lock it down or not.
Yeah.
He did not. So, boom, it opens up, and you can see basically to your left is going to be the galley. To the right is his living facility. Straight ahead is the storage unit, and you can see that there's still a bunch of supplies and shit that's set up in there. And then around the dog leg and another dog leg, so going to the left and then going to the right down the corridor will lead you to his research facility, or his, what do you call it, his lab, or forgive me, his laboratory, I believe is the appropriate pronunciation for mad scientists.
with a
Exactly. Welcome to Brandcroft Labs.
So we pass all the hideous, blasphemous, and totally illegal alien experiments on the way and head to the lab.
Exactly. There's creepy crying children, and then there's one child who just stares at you. What do you guys wish to do? Am I correct in thinking that the heads all kind of turn to Dr. Ilias at this point?
Yeah, kind of like, where are we going? Where are we going, Dr. Ilias?
Well, I'm thinking, as far as we know, we've taken out the security.
Yep.
And he's invited us, or reached out, and is leaving aside it might still be a hideous trap for some nefarious reasons. I think we can just approach and maybe even hail him.
To be accurate, someone sent a message of help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always
And
the
the good
possibility.
doctor let us in after we'd destroyed his killer droids, which was nice of him, of course.
This all could be just a terrible mistake.
I guess it is possible the help he needs is my expertise to finish whatever unholy research he's doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took
Maybe
it a
it
bit
was
literally.
We should proceed with caution.
Okay.
Probably head straight to, I imagine.
Let's do that. Let's head for the lab then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us how you're going to be proceeding on that way. Who's taking the lead? I'm assuming you guys are trying to do it with cover and whatnot, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the lead. I will move with cover. I will sort of check the fire lanes as I go. I will go with the weapon already readied. The sort of classic sort of urban...
2x2 cover.
Urban, yeah, exactly, yeah. All that kind of stuff.
It's an Apone aphorism.
Yeah. 2x2 cover formation.
So then, why don't... Dane, if you're in the lead, who is next up?
I think Anchor will bring up the rear. He's got a heavy gun.
Okay,
Bring
I'll
up the
go
rear.
second then.
Okay. So, Dr. Ilias, you're behind the captain and Dane. I think this might be one of the first times you guys have seen Dane in full, combat mode here. Dane, would you kindly give us a recon check, please?
And try. Recon. No bonuses to this. Straight roll.
Just straight roll, okay.
Nope.
Okay. How much luck do you guys have left right now?
3.
3, okay. So it's going to be a little higher target number, but Captain Ganny, would you give us a recon roll?
Oh dear.
Okay.
I mean, I'm at -2, so...
Okay.
Yeah. I'm at
So
+1. I
you
still
guys are
can't
making your way along. And
When suddenly...
as you come around the last corner...
Too slow.
Maybe roll here. Oof. Let's see here. Dane, would you kindly give us a roll 3d6 plus 3?
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. That's a big number.
That's a big number. Holy smokes. All right. What is the armor rating on your... or the protection on your armor?
16.
16. That is terrific. So that means you only take 3 points of damage to your endurance. Because
Jeez.
what you find as you're going around
mackerel.
that last corner, let me put him out here for you. Someone has been waiting in a panic.
God damn it. I'm glad it was me.
Oh, indeed. With your armor, that's...
Yeah. I think I've got that right.
Dr. Bancroft has just, and I actually rolled just on the nose of what I needed. Dr. Bancroft has just shot you in the chest with a very high-tech looking laser pistol, which fortunately has dog shit penetration. So your armor has availed you here with him shooting and saying, "Who are you? What do you want?" Let's take our mid-session break, and then we'll come back and see what happens next. So, for those listening at home, we'll be back in 5 minutes, and we'll see whether Dane returns fire before Dr. Ilias can recognize who it is.
Yeah, last thing, Dane, let's both go to full auto.
Yeah.
I mean, Anchor has a Gauss rifle too.
Nice.
All right. Now we'll have to see how good Dr. Ilias's medicinal abilities are if this guy takes a fucking Gauss rifle.
There'll be just enough left to identify him.
Exactly.
They know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And a banana did not want to come in. It's like 8 degrees Celsius here, which is really nice for this time of year. 4 here.
8, did you say?
8 degrees, yeah.
Yeah. 6 here.
Oh, wow. Well, it's later there, I guess, as well. It will not be... When is it going to be tonight? I suspect it's going to be... Oh, fuck me. It's 12 degrees here right now.
Okay.
Holy smokes. It's going to be -3 tonight, though, so...
No, you beat me.
Yeah.
Beat me.
Yeah, shitty weather. That's usually this time of year we can beat out most folks. Although it's that we're so close to the mountains that if you don't like the weather, just wait and we'll see if it'll change. Okay, so we'll wait for Captain Canny still.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, are you? Okay, so your camera's off. Already said so.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. All right, so then, why don't we quickly roll for initiative once again? And I don't think this was an unexpected... it's an unexpected thing, but you were able to plan beforehand. Oh, my score is awful for him.
Well, that's unfortunate for when he gets hit.
Yeah, really.
No time to surrender.
I guess I could do another tactics roll. Is that okay?
So I don't know if... Hold on here. I don't know if the initiative function is working properly. Because looking at your scores from last time, I'm like, oh, those are really high.
Oh, I'll have a look at mine.
Because I think it's supposed to be...
Well, I rolled it.
Yeah, you rolled really well, but I think it's supposed to be the effect of a dex or intellect roll, not the dice roll.
Oh, yeah.
But let me just double check here. Like I could have it wrong. I've already miswritten
No, that
one
rings
thing.
a bell. That rings a bell.
Okay, so initiative, either make a quick dex or
it's the
int check. The effect of this check is their initiative for the duration of combat. And then, because that makes the tactics part a more significant addition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the effect. So maybe you guys all have access to your initiative scores. Just take a look and see what the effect would be. Enter that in, and then that'll be...
Yeah, so it's based on 8, right?
Based on 8, correct. Yeah.
Mine will be like a 5. Well, let me change the column.
Hey, let's add him in here. Dr. Bancroft. So, mine is a negative... Ooh, what did I just do? Oh. Negative... Oh, I know why. Okay. 6? I rolled a 2 on mine, so... Not great. Okay, excellent. And... Nope. There we are. All right. So, Anchor, you were up first. What you've heard is, I think the beam itself wouldn't make a lot of noise, but there's a little bit of a hissing, and then there's this explosion as the heat hits that polycarbonate in Dane's chest. So and you're probably within the distance to move up there.
Yep.
Moving is a minor action.
All right. So I'm going to move forward, I guess. So you didn't get hit.
Yeah, so you move up, and you can see at the end, crouched behind a desk with a bunch of shit on it. There's a small cardiganed Asian man, human, pointing a fairly fancy-looking laser pistol.
Okay.
You have a standard action too. What would you like to do?
Well, is it free to talk? Because if I'm going to say, are we killing this guy? But
yeah, you can say that. Yeah. And then that wouldn't be a full standard action, but to wait for the response might be.
Well, I'll tell him to drop his weapon.
Sure.
Hold the Gauss rifle and tell him to drop his weapon. Because we don't know if we're killing him. I don't know if we're killing him yet. But just put the,
Yeah. Why don't you give us...
Put him under cover, I guess.
Yeah. I think Anis approves of that.
There's a persuade.
Diplomat. I'm trying to see. There's not like a...
There's persuade, but...
Yeah, persuade, definitely. I'm going to give you a plus 2 to this, because like you guys have...
Okay.
A 9 is still pretty good. And for him... Okay. So
we know who this guy is, right? So we call him by name. Dr. Bancroft, drop your weapon.
Okay. So he, well, to see what he does on his turn, Dr. Abdel.
I recognize the voice.
You do? Oh, yeah. It's what was his first name again?
Daiwen.
Daiwen, right. You know Daiwen when he's at his, like, hysterical... It's usually screaming at a lab assistant, but this is... Yeah, it's 100% him.
In that case, I will step forward so he can see me with my hands out. You're like, Daiwen, it's me, Ilias. Stop shooting.
Okay. Give us a persuade check at +2, please. Or adding 2. I'm going to change my change my vernacular. So you need not make a roll for this, but it's the look on his face is the kind of unique, perplexed look that you get of like, what the fuck are you doing here? You know, it's getting on an elevator when you're on a vacation and you turn and see your neighbor, next to you. You're like, what the what? So he is, you can see like he has the pistol in his hand still, but like the aim has relaxed a bit from it. Dane, what are you doing? Apart from recovering from...
I'll just follow up really from Anchor's come and just say, put the gun down now, as commanding as I can.
Okay, you need not make a roll for that. That your intent is clear, and you just walked away from what the best he has to offer is.
Yeah,
Captain, what are you doing?
With my rifle on burst, I'll aim it at him and
so step around. You can't really aim because you'd have to move into.
Okay, so I'll just move round and...
yeah. So he has 4 people aiming rifles at him and a co-worker who he despises, who he hasn't seen in years.
I'm sure that makes Dr. Ilias more attractive compared with the rest of us.
Yes. Well, yeah, he's looking at the 3 of you and, like, he just drops, like, fucking almost throws the gun on the ground. And he's like, don't shoot! Don't shoot! Right now, his fear seems to be overwhelming any other impulse. And he's not even asking why you're here, Dr. Ilias, so you can go ahead and do what you want, guys. He's currently standing behind. We can drop out of initiative order for now.
Is there anyone else here, Bancroft?
Just me. What? Are you here
Judging by the look on your face, you did not send a message.
It was you who sent the message back. I should have known you're here to steal. And he's looking around like as if he's about to try and do something.
Yeah, don't do something. Don't do something.
Yay. Yeah, so he looks up and he sees, all 3 of these rifles pointed at him still. And he says to you, Dr. Ilias, you're not going to get away with this,
I'm not here to get away with anything. I thought you needed help. You sent me some data, an decoded message asking for help. Or so I thought. Clearly.
I didn't send you anything. What are you? Why? You are the last person in the Imperium that I would think would catches himself.
So intriguing to receive the message.
He stops and he looks around behind him, and what you realize now is that he's got his like office, and there's computers that he'd be working on, and there's one or two of those, like powered down kind of friendly robots or the greeting robots that are in here. But there is what you would recognize as effectively like a hermetically sealed surgery unit, Dr. Ilias, and there are frosted glass. It's the kind of thing that would like frost up or clear up at a command, to give privacy or sleep or whatever else that you need for within. But it is a surgical unit that is behind him, and that's what he's just looked at. And you can see, Dane, Dane, Captain Ganny, and Anchor, you can all see that he's doing that thing of like trying to judge whether he can, potentially make a run for something or not. Right now, survival is a stronger impulse, so he is not running. Does anyone have any kind of like binders or handcuffs or any other kind of thing like that?
You can look around. This is like a lab? Is that what
It's a lab, yeah.
Yeah. I guess it probably wouldn't be. Oh, there might be. I mean, if he has like a surgical bed, there's probably maybe like. I don't think I have anything. I don't have anything listed, at least.
You guys should ask is what's his name in Mr. Gruxon? I bet you they got it.
Who's that?
The rent investigator, Mr. Tian. They would have it. Anyway, so that's what's happening right now. He seems to have looked back, and he's looked back at you, Dr. Ilias.
Maybe we should. Dr. Ilias perhaps should see what's back there. We'll cover him.
Yeah, but have you gotten mixed up in Bancroft this time? And sort of start approaching the surgical unit.
Yeah, I will collect his gun.
Okay, yeah, so you step forward.
I'll keep cover on him.
Okay. The gun is gone. He's like, you can't do this. I have backing. This is approved by the council. You're not going to get away with this. So you walk over, and it's the kind of thing, while he is clearly has been lax in his security for, accessing the layout for the facility, this is something that it does require like a biometric entrance.
Oh, good.
Does the hand need to be attached to him? No. Not wow.
Is it retina?
I will look at him and be like, I know you're probably not going to believe me, but I'm not here to steal anything. We received a message that brought us here. If you didn't send it, can you think of anyone who would send such a message to get me here?
There
Have you pissed anyone else off? Have you stolen from anyone else?
His eyes are twitching and his jaw's moving. Like there's clearly a lot going on in his head, and he's just like, you can't take him.
Oh, he's got a prison. He's got a prisoner.
Yeah, isn't he?
Yeah. Did he make him? Nice gun, Doc.
Him?
He looks over. There's a shiny little Judico logo on there. Judico, because you never know. So it's a TL11 laser pistol. If you're gonna keep it, but
I don't know. I have no. Well, if this is as bad as I think it is, I have an idea. But
okay. So then, Dr. Ilias, this is not the kind of thing where you need to, like, if you bring him over or one of your companions brings him over and he puts his hand down, it'll open up. Or you can hack it.
Is he going to do that? I mean, a motion with the gun to... If Dr. Ilias says it's a biometric lock?
No, I think if Bancroft says him, Ilias is less likely to just open it because he doesn't know if there's any, like, medical or if it's going to mess up with any healthcare.
No, you could do, though. The controls for the opaque screen, that's on this side. Those could certainly be activated still.
I think he'll just want to get a look in rather than opening it up.
All right. So what you see inside is on a surgical bed with two of those like diplomat droids working, and partially disassembled, partially vivisected in what you can see is it's a very advanced like sterile field, the kind of thing that would just like, you know, prevent infection or whatnot. This is who was on the bed.
Oh.
Oh.
That's who needed help.
Do you recognize that species or anything? Or
You can give us a gosh, I think science roll, anything like biological or genetic, or you could roll medicine. What is it called? It's called first aid or medicine? Medic.
Yeah, I don't have none of those, so I'll just roll it and.
I mean, you could rely on Dr. Elias to say. You said, what is that?
What is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Dr. Elias, any of those would work. Medic. So you're looking at this, and like you have the benefit as well, because this thing is partially vivisected. You have an opportunity to see the organs inside, and some of that's human. Some of that is most assuredly not, and whether that is because of genetic changes or because of it being an alien species or whatnot, who knows? And I think what you're able to run through looking at this thing and the interior there, of the known, you know, variants of humanity that are out there, there's the ones in the Trojan Reach as well that are like specific. They're even like physiologically quite different from humans. And there's the Zodani, there's the Venlani. This is unlike any in the interior that you've seen before. This is not. If this is something, if this is a cyborg too, this is the most advanced incorporation of cybernetics and biology of anything you've seen, and you are quite confident that some of the mechanical bits that are in here, you've never seen any ancient cybernetics before, whether that because they were so advanced that they never had use of it, they could restore their physical tissue back to whatever damaged state they had, or whatever. This is most definitely, you would suspect. You're going to need to get into the guts of the machinery, as it were. But it seems like this may be incorporating technology from a species not seen for tens of thousands, if not millions of years. And you think you see the head move just ever so slightly up to have a better view of you, those golden eyes meeting yours.
I think for a moment Dr. Elias is still, and despite everything else, part of him cannot help but admire the knowledge and ingenuity and sort of groundbreaking effort that has gone into this.
I love the idea that there's just a little bit of mad scientist in Dr. Elias. You look over at Dr. Bancroft, and there was a time when you guys were at ITEM, and were working towards a common goal. And he sees that, and there is this small moment of like what you guys used to share as, professional collaborators.
Dr. Elias, I would remind you that this mission is already costing us something in the excess of 150,000 credits.
But this is a new low even by your standard, Bancrofts. What are you?
He just takes a step tentatively towards Dr. Elias and kind of looks over at Anchor, who I think still has his gun on him. And if you're not going to stop him from approaching, he moves in closer and he says, Do you understand what we have here? They brought him to me.
They.
Jedico. I don't know where they got him. Jedico, we are up to some crazy shit. What he says is, they brought him to me. I don't know where they found him. And he gestures towards it, but there is human biological material in there. There is biological material from some, I don't know what, alien species, and a fully functioning cybernetic enhancement apparatus within this. This is not just an augmented human. This is blending of species on a genetic level. If we could learn from this, when we learn from this, and I have learned so much. Now, Dr. Ilias, you've seen his work, and there's definitely some advances that have gone on here. But what you've seen is clumsy efforts to try and fit together some, at least from the snippets that you saw, from your work from before, from his work from before, and this other stuff. You can't take him.
I have one very important question for you, Bancroft. Has the patient consented?
There's a twitch in his eye as
I think we both know the answer to that.
You. Who sent you? A rival? You're working for one of the others. They won't let you take him.
You're quite mistaken as to who called us.
Yes.
He looks over.
I think he
looks back at... How?
Well, you know...
That's always been your problem, not fully understanding something. You're playing with things that are outside of your reach. Now let him go.
His fists are balling up,
ugly.
you know, and you can't take him. I won't let you.
Yeah, actually, Anchor's
cool.
trying to look at how could we take this guy. He's not cut up, right? I mean,
He is cut up, but there is what's necessary for stabilizing in there. And at a glance, Dr. Ilias, you could not ask for... you likely could not find a better surgical suite anywhere outside of the Imperial quarters or the Imperial surgery or hospital. Anywhere in the Imperium. This has everything that you could possibly ask for.
What's he going to do, Doc?
Anchor,
Is he going to cut him up and, you know...
he's a
slice
studying
it?
He'll do whatever
like
he
a
thinks.
specimen.
Yeah. Step aside, Bancroft. This is no longer your patient. This is my patient.
He's beginning to tremble. You guys can see that he's about to lose his cool.
Maybe he needs to be forcibly sedated, Dane.
So maybe you stand over him and say that, and he just looks at you like, no. You take him, if you can, he says to Dr. Ilias. You're not going to get far. They'll tear open everything in this quadrant to find you. You're not going to get far. So he moves back and sits down. Go on then. Take him.
I say we take this doctor with us. Not that he's much of a doctor.
He looks up. What? I'm of no value to you.
Wow.
Oh, thank you for reminding us of
gonna-
that. Thank you. And I'm gonna flip the safety off on my gun. Like a
Hey!
Word.
No.
They're going to tear everything open. Well, perhaps you should come along for the ride, you know.
When they tear everything open, you can be
says
there
he's
with us.
no value.
he's stammering and like looking to Dr. Ilias and like, no, I'm not going to get any help there. Looking up at Anchor, I'm not going to get any help there. He, I think, is he sits himself back down in his chair and just kind of is looking to see what you guys do next. So, Captain Ganny, while this is, because you were the one who had, I think, the better computer score, at a glance, you can tell that this is not the lock that is leading into this, you know, the patient, it's something you could easily hack. And there isn't like a consequence that comes from this. It doesn't like, it might trigger an alarm, but like, who the fuck is it going to tell? It's not going to, or at least it shouldn't damage the patient whatsoever. Sorry, Graham, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
No, that's fine. I was going to suggest, say to the good Dr. Ilias, can you, I don't know, disentangle him from all the...
patch him up so we can get him out of here?
Science mumbo jumbo. And honestly, I think Dr. Bancroft should be detained in here somewhere, just out of the way.
Yes, I will try my best to fix the patient. Ready for transport.
Are there like holding rooms for other specimens, cages? Could throw him in one of those.
Seems like this facility, if you were to guess, Anchor, from where this was laid out, this is a place for this guy to live, to eat, to have his stores and whatnot, and to do whatever the fuck he's doing with this guy.
Okay. I don't know.
So, Dr. Ilias, I guess first off, how do you guys intend on getting in there? It could be as easy as just dragging him over and putting his hand on the thing, or...
Yeah, I think we'll
do that.
Yep. So he gains access. And in contrast, it could very well be the sedation or the analgesics that are at play, whether they're pharmacological or any kind of like, you know, rays or whatever to deaden nerve endings, whatever this guy's nerve endings might be. But there's actually... those golden eyes are still staring or watching you as you come in, Dr. Ilias. And there is a look of... in stark contrast to the ruin that is his chest cut open, there's a look of relief on his face.
Do the servitor droids react in any...
They both look over, and they have their smiley emoticons back on again. One of them steps towards you, and then its face disappears, and there's a scroll of vitals and whatnot that is over. So you can at a glance see what's been going on. Whatever other terrible things that Bancroft has been doing to this this entity. He has been doing it very carefully. The surgical tools that have been used are of like easily TL11, maybe even TL12. There is every effort that has been made to make sure that no damage is done to any of the cybernetics or the mechanical components. Everything has been pulled away and stabilized as best it can. So to be honest, it's not going to be... assuming you can just follow like the reverse of his vivisection log, then you may be able to place this thing back together. And it does seem... holy shit. Because I'm just going to roll forward your really great roll from medicine before. There are... this is not an unknown technology in yours, but there's also like nanite repair or recovery units that are in here too. It seems like this being could recover from an extraordinary amount of tissue damage and still be able to pull itself back together.
In which case, Dr. Ilias will almost zone out anything else. He'll probably turn to his companion and say, make sure he doesn't interfere. And then we'll go into doctor mode. So he's now the patient.
Closes.
He's just going to try and as best fix him, reverse any damage that has been done. But he's in the zone now, and we'll just try and treat the patient.
Yeah. You also notice when they're going through the rolls, it appears that they're as you can see, like the throat area, a lot of that seems to have been replaced with some kind of technology. That includes his vocal cords, and they are disabled right now. Seems as if it would be a facile thing. They're not like removed or anything. They are just disabled. So if you wish to reactivate that, it seems like it would be an easy thing.
Yeah, he'll start with those then. And hopefully, A, because it's the right thing to do, and B, then if we're able to communicate, the patient might, be able to help with the recovery.
So you do so, and then he kind of double blinks and says in a voice that sounds, there is a like subtle electronic quality to it, almost like a recorded voice that has just a little bit of distortion or obvious, alteration to it. But it's a, rich baritone male voice otherwise, who says, Dr. Ilyas Abdel, you got my message. You received my message.
Yes, I did. But what do we call you?
Dr. Bancroft has been calling me Ultima One. It's as good a name as any.
Well, Ultima, I'm in charge of your care now, and hopefully we can... Are you in pain? Do you need sedatives?
I am not. Dr. Bancroft has graciously provided analgesic technology. I would be grateful, however, if you could... And he looks down at his open chest. Repair the damage done by Dr. Bancroft and release me from these restraints.
Yes, I will try my best. Take on gloves and get to fixing him up.
Sure.
So about this facility, I mean, the guy said, like it says, Dr. Ilyas is now going to take some time, right, to repair him? Yeah. Okay.
You guys will have time to do... This is going to take a couple of hours of work here.
Are we on like a... I left before we said we were stopping their communication. Was that successful?
What the guys did is they found a way of disabling Captain Gani, I think, was the one who did this. He found a way to disable the comms on it, and when Dane took out the cam bots that were on the facility, the last thing he did before the security bots came out was take out the comm unit. So you're hoping that you guys... there would be about an hour before any response would come from the... What do you call it? From the starport, which is really the only major, outpost here. What would you guys like to do? Anchor, Dane, and Captain Gani while Dr. Ilyas is performing this.
I'm wondering if we could just... So the Bancroft said that they're going to chase us down, whatever. What if we just blow this joint up and make it look like an accident, and then they're going to be sifting through the rubble? Maybe they'll think the whole experiment's done.
Yeah.
Whether we leave Bancroft in here to blow up with his work, that's up to you guys. I would say we do. But Captain Gani, you seem more merciful today.
Not much.
Right? Typical mad scientist. Experiment got out of control. Kaboom.
Does it look like there's anything actually combustible in here?
Yeah, I mean, is it possible? That's what I guess Anchor's going to...
Oh, and obviously we'll obviously empty his data core and take as much as
Yeah.
So depending on what you intend on doing, you likely could...
Or a fire, right? A fire.
I don't know. Like a fire you could do here. However, as a reminder, this place is next to an atmospheric processor. Now, that might cause more damage than you intend, but there is an enormous power source that drives that. If that detonates, that most certainly would likely damage this place beyond any kind of way for them to... I mean, there's if anyone is going to have the necessary sensor technology, if we can track down the point of origin of a bomb on a plane and our current technology, they may be able to figure out that, what biological signals are still in here, even with the, low yield nuclear blast that would come from the atmospheric processor going off. Mm-hmm. But they may not look, as you say, Carly, they may not look too closely either. Another mad scientist gone. Oopsie doopsie.
Yep. Or leave
and he
some
probably
of that.
didn't have many friends.
Could we deduce that, and then if we needed to, we could leave, ask Ultima's permission if he wants to explain to what we want to do, and ask if we can leave some biologicals, or there's biologicals that Bancroft stored of him, and scatter them around, so it looks like that guy's still there too.
Well, let's see if this is a viable plan first. So why don't?
Okay. I don't mind nuking it from orbit. That's the only way to be sure.
Exactly. So I think
second alien's quote today. Third alien's quote today.
I think so. This would be. Does anyone have engineering power?
Oh, of course.
Nice. Those University of Space Phoenix commercials are writing themselves. Do you want to fix an abandoned ship? Do you want to blow up a illicit scientific facility? Let me tell you where I learned how. Would you go ahead and give us then, Captain, a engineering power check, please, with intelligence.
Oh, would it not be education?
No, for this one it's intelligence.
Intelligence, okay.
Yeah. You're actually trying to be a little more
We have 3 luck
got
left.
nothing left?
3.
Yep. So let's have 2 of them.
Okay, so... Oh, well, no, this is actually... This is more difficult. This is trying to...
Oh.
Yeah. So, you certainly can sabotage it. That's not the difficult thing. It's sabotaging it in such a way as to make it seem as if it wasn't sabotaged. Right? Because one of the things that they're going to likely do, it is going to be very easy to make this thing blow up. It's just a trick of... You're pretty confident. Like, if you spent even 3, the DC on this was a 10. So you're not far off from it. It's just that, in theory, you're fairly confident. It's just that getting away without any hiding the fact that, I guess, that it was sabotaged might be a challenge.
What do you think, lads? I've got a decent chance of doing
Can
it.
investigate
but,
bees to kind of facilitate deception in that regard.
Can you which? Sorry.
So if he looks at it and says, "Okay, we could do this, but I don't know how to make it so that we can't hide it," can we maybe make this like a dice type of chain thing?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah, like the.
And then I could use investigate because Anchor.
Yeah, let me take a look
Anchor
here.
is good at conspiracies, hiding things, searching things out.
Oh yeah. That's a good point.
So how do we make it look like it's not?
Yeah,
it's
sure.
not
Why don't you give us
sabotaged?
give us an investigate roll. You'll take a minus
-1, right?
2. No, -2 right now because that
okay.
first one was a fail by 2
Okay,
still.
well, let's
But
see
you
if
do
we
have
can-
1 luck left over.
Okay. So we'll see. Okay. Oh, well.
Oof, okay. So again, that's not what you've done now. Yours was going to be a DC or target number of 8, so that's only a fail by 1. Right now you got a -1. If you spent that last luck, it would put you at +1, but then you'd be out of luck.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Who else is can contribute to the task? Dr. Ilias is like can't, right? Because I guess Dane, it's up to you. What you got?
And blow things up.
Do you have like demolitions?
I've got explosives.
Yep. Go ahead and give us a explosives check, please.
I'd rather say the 1 just in case Dane needs it.
Yeah, and
so
this will
let's
be
just keep
with
the -1.
I think, education as opposed to dexterity.
Yeah, I was hoping. Well, it makes no. Well, yeah, education's fair enough.
Okay.
Come.
Sorry, you've got plus.
Oh,
nice. So yeah, I think you guys are talking about this shit, and Dane is like, I've been waiting for this moment for months. All that mopping is finally worth it.
Yeah.
Dane, so you guys are talking about one thing that Dane most certainly has experience with is getting in somewhere, wrecking all sorts of terrible chaos, and then blowing that fucking place up without anyone knowing how it happened. This is... His wheelhouse is nothing but shooting people who you've never met and then blowing up their homes. So, yes, you absolutely...
Yeah, I'm beyond all this, of course, but now that you mention it...
Yeah. There is, I think, Captain Ganny, to give insight because it'll be ultimately your engineering power roll. But as you guys are talking through this, Anchor talks about some of the things they might be looking for to for their investigation afterwards, ways to cover it up and whatnot. Dana steps forward and points out 3 different ways of doing this in ways they're immediately obvious as soon as it's pointed out to you, but you're like... And it's a little scary how easily he's able to piece this together because this unit, remember, has been kludged together with an atmospheric processor that is having power siphoned off to run this illicit lab.
Huh.
So, mechanic-wise, that's going to give
I'm glad on your side. I'm glad you're on our side.
Yeah, really. We're going to give you a plus 3 on your roll. That means your difficulty is going to be a 7 you're rolling against Captain Ganny.
Okay, so plus 3.
No, unless you want to set it off yet. This will be your last thing before you guys depart.
I've set it, boys.
We're ready to go.
Ganny is so inspired.
Dr. Alias with his space, surgical mask on. Wait, what?
We've now got 10 seconds.
So the last thing is, what do we do with Bancroft?
Dr. Ilias?
Well, one thing I'm going to say is you guys can have this conversation without Dr. Ilias's input because he's going to be up busy.
Yeah.
And I imagine there would be an initial discussion of so what do we do with this fucking guy? I can assume you will be able to do it in public. You will find something to be able to bind this guy. He is not a criminal mastermind, so he's not going to be able to escape from this. He unfortunately has a very narrow skill set. So you can lock him up in the galley, you can lock him up in his room, you can lock him up in a closet, in the storage facility, you can lock him up just up to hangars that are up there. What do you guys think? Where are we storing Dr. Bancroft while you're discussing his fate?
Yeah, put him in a closet somewhere. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Store cupboard, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd say we leave him here as when the thing goes kaboom. Dr. Ilias will be upset initially, but he'll thank us eventually.
I mean, he's a scumbag, but I say maroon him somewhere.
Like in space? Without a... No, that's the same thing.
On a planet somewhere. We're going to go to some weird places in the weeks ahead.
I think holding him onto him is a liability. Although, maybe we should ask when the patient is done, maybe we should ask the patient. Does this thing want revenge? Does it care?
Yeah, the problem is he knows who we are.
Yeah.
And whereas, Judico might be after us, as indeed they probably already are.
Oh, we're after you.
Oh, yeah. With his evidence, that's going to help them a great deal. So we can't just leave him here. He's going to have to come with us for now.
So one thing, this is not going to be helpful with the blowing up things, but one option I will point out that Dr. Ilias may think of. With the staff of robots on here and the advanced medical facilities that this has access to and the degree of automation that's here, conceivably, you could place Dr. Bancroft in a medically induced coma and they would keep him alive and long until someone came looking.
Yeah, but then we're blowing this place up, right?
That would take away from the blowing up the place, but one thing to consider is if this place does blow up and you guys are flying away, you seem to have avoided any kind of security as of yet. That would be certain that mechanically what would happen is we would roll again against the law level, because there's an incident that caused a big thing. You might get the attention of the tech world security forces, but that is just, it is an option you guys would have, and Dr. Elias would be aware of, given the level of technology here and the level of automation.
Yeah, there is something
so
to keeping the footprint low. Yeah.
That has points. That has merit.
Yeah. Dr. Elias, do you want all his research?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll take that.
You picture he's there with the robots helping him, and just yes, and back to work again. Dr. Elias, would you give us, while we're doing this, why don't you give us your medic roll here, please? We'll assume you're taking as much time as necessary. You're going to get a +2 to this from the ableist. Actually, roll with advantage. Let's just do that. Or whatever it's called in this. I can't remember. Is it advantage? It is advantage, isn't it?
A boon?
Boon and Bane.
A boon, right.
Boon and Bane, yeah.
So roll with a boon, and you will also gain a +1 for taking the extra time. It's +1 and +2. Oh, and it says +2. Holy shit.
Blimey.
Ultima 1, seeing you, stitching you back together, is nodding his head approvingly as this is going on. I'm not sure if you've had interaction with a surgical patient before, but he says, again, very calming and whatnot, Dr. Bancroft made extensive use of your work, Dr. Abdel, and I am pleased to see that your skill as a surgeon even exceeds in your insight as a researcher. Anchor is very upset in the other room right now.
Why is Anchor upset?
No, Anna was barking at some dog outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so. Anchor is the scapegoat for when my dog makes noise. It is, yeah. You actually managed to do it in a shorter time than you expected, and thanks to the dermal sprays and whatnot that are on here, there's not even a surgical scar when he finishes up. You release the. Why don't you give us a 1D? Let's see here, 1d6. Yeah, so give us a 1d6 roll, please. 2 hours of work is all it took, thanks to the assistance of the droids, the tech that's available here, and the incredible skill that you have. You complete seals up, and he's able to stand up. He touches his chest, looks at you, and smiles. Thank you, Dr. Elias.
You're very welcome. How are you feeling?
Much better. It feels good to be on my feet once again.
How long have you been here?
At this facility. He thinks, I believe it has been a little shy of a year. Terrestrial time.
Do you have some place you call home or that you would like to go to?
I do not. I would very much like to get off Tech World. That is where we are. I expect that Jideko will not take my escape from their perspective lightly.
No, most likely not.
I will want to leave the Reach in time. I am, and he kind of gestures to himself, quite identifiable, and Jideko has great reach. And Jideko, we can find you. If you could take me off of Tech World, I would be enormously grateful, though I understand the risk and the fact that you have already risked much to come here in response to my message.
We have a knack for passenger transports that are a little bit trickier to maneuver around. I'm sure we can figure something out. I'll message the others to let them know that.
Okay, so you message the others that he is up. So maybe as you guys, Dr. Bancroft is still, locked up in the closet somewhere. And when you hear from Dr. Abdel, you come back and you can see that Ultima 1. If you either you introduce him or you ask him to introduce himself, that is how he introduces himself. And Dr. Elias, I'll let you tell us what happens next.
Yep, I'll introduce my companions to him and we'll lay out that I'd quite like to help Ultima 1 get off Tech World, and also understand that we are already transporting passengers.
Yeah.
And we'll happily put it to my companions to see what they think.
I don't wish you to think that if you leave me, that I will die. I am quite capable and have managed to avoid... Jideko is not the first to come in search of me and hoping to learn from me. But I would appreciate if you could a ride off this planet.
Well,
Yep, fine by me.
yeah, I mean, if you are capable, then that could well be useful, because you'll be costing us additional life support.
You will find, I think, that I will not be imposing on any such resources.
Interesting.
My physiology is
remarkable, I say.
What you've, even from the little that you've had to look at his records, let me just give you a little taste. He is more durable than what those combat drones were. He has some kind of advanced scanners on him. There is some kind of baffling technology that is incorporated in him, so he can actually mask his smell, his sense, the sound that he would make, as well as visual camouflage. He has some kind of grippers in his hands, so he would be able to scale buildings. There's an enormous amount of radiation protection, self-repair. He has a radio more advanced than, I think, anything likely to be found within 100 kilometers. Likely could survive in vacuum protection, as well as having a wireless link to computers. He is also
possible use.
Likely to be stronger and faster and more dexterous than peak Olympic athletes.
What possible use would Jideko have for such a specimen? I can't even conceive.
Ultima 1 says, I am happy to repay your generosity and your kindness with service. You would not be the first crew for me that I traveled with. And from what Dr. Abdel says, you have a knack for transporting unusual passengers. I should caution, though. They will likely come in search of me.
Well, we're kind of used to that.
So, I guess he's talking to all of us.
Yeah, he's talking to all of you now. Yeah.
So, Ultima 1, what do you want us to do with your former captor torturer? We have several options.
I have known Dr. Bancroft for a very limited time, and from what I can tell, Dr. Abdel has known him much longer. Dr. Bancroft is not the first who wished to learn from me, and doing so only at the... and who happily served the interests of a master. Gidico. That's us!
Yeah.
I bear him no more ill will than I would any other curious child. Dr. Ilias, I think you are best equipped to make a judgment as to whether this... as to what this would merit. I expect, left alive, his masters would not be pleased at him losing me as a patient. And he says that with a very particular way.
I think he'll rat us out the first chance he gets. He'll happily provide names, descriptions, any knowledge he has. He will not hesitate.
So I guess what do we want to do? What's the decision?
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like taking him with is a liability, but that's Anchor's view. He's going to try to escape. He's going to try to contact people.
Yeah.
He's going to try to mess with the ship.
I like the induced coma idea. If you can do that.
If Dane mentions that, you kind of think, Dr. Lewis, like, oh yeah, like that'd be a facile thing. There's everything. This facility, you could keep someone safe for decades. That's not even including the kind of freezing you would use with low berth travel. So
so then Judica might think this his investigation is still going on.
Yeah,
it's one of the downsides.
Yeah,
it's one of the downsides to having a highly automated, secretive facility. The only people he likely reports to are the council and then by proxy Judico.
Yeah.
If that's the case, you may have to do some creative reporting on things, but it may be months before they realize that he's not reporting and send someone out to see what's going on, and he'd be the worse for it.
We can look in the records and see how often that he sends out a report.
Sure.
We can set up the AI to send out regular reports to make shit up,
Well, the comms array is in disarray.
So they're going to have to come investigate that. That's an issue, I guess. But they don't know that yet. Maybe.
No, and there's also, again, these places are heavily automated. There will be the bots and whatever else that are here. They're intended to be self-sufficient. Remember, the population of the entire planet is something in the hundreds of thousands, and it's nearly 1 billion robots that are on here.
Oh, well. Okay.
One of the things with Tech World is it is heavily automated. A repair bot will go and take care of that likely.
Yeah, so I would just set up regular reports and the station AI have it, make some stuff up.
Now there is one other possibility. You have access to the highest technology that you can really have access to as far as surgical materials are. Dr. Ilias could try and induce a kind of amnesia. There are all sorts of different kinds of trauma that can result in memory loss. It's not an easy thing necessarily to do, but if there was ever a facility and ever a surgeon who might be capable of doing such a thing, this is the situation.
Yeah.
The ethics of doing that, I think, is up to...
You'll find some of that in some of the higher tech Imperial interrogation suites as well.
A terrifying insight into Dane's former life.
I just handed them over. I wasn't involved in all.
I would prefer the putting him on ice for a while. Right? No, there are easier and simpler solutions to this, but
can we just chuck him in?
Ideally, he'd go to jail and be judged for his crimes. But
is there any cryogenic here? Any sort of low berths that we could just chuck him in and put it on a low?
Yeah, there's the equivalent of even more so, more accurate, more secure. There's effectively a freezing apparatus for medical stuff in here. You could just put him in there.
Have a really nice long nap.
Yeah.
Put him in carbon.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you. Yeah, the last words. Dr. Bancroft says, "I hate you," and Dr. Ilias says, "I know." Okay, so there's not going to be, if that's what you guys are going to do is stick him in medical freezing, that is not going to require any kind of roll for it.
Okay.
As for automating the AI or whatnot, Ultima 1, now that he has been fully restored to function, is happy to do that for you if you would let him. He has a wide range of expertise that you can draw on. And if you want your characters to make the rolls for it, he can make the skill chain roll for it, and then you could make the roll with a bonus.
Yeah.
What would you guys prefer?
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, well, that's two different options. Which one would you like? Would you like to make the roll for coding this stuff, or do you want to... You guys are going to make the dice roll one way or the other. There's a question of whether you want to use... just let Ultima 1 do it and trust that he's not going to do anything...
It's a fascinating demonstration of his capabilities.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dr. Ilias?
I think if Ultima 1 can do this, we should... he's probably better at it than any of us.
Perhaps
so he'll glance over at the computer station where Dr. Bancroft had been working, and it does that kind of spring to life. There's different things that are showing on the screen. Let's see here, Dr. Ilias, would you give us a 2d6 roll, please? And he stands there for about 6 minutes. I've also factored in him rushing to make this done much faster. There. 12 months will be a sufficient head start.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Good. I have also scheduled the maintenance and planned for the resupply to be met by the droids.
Oh, good.
Can you also scrub any useful data or introduce enough errors that it becomes unusable in case?
Oh, and he looks over at it. There will be nothing for them to use, though I see that your colleagues have collected Dr. Bancroft's research already.
It was very kind of them.
Well, you're a little busy there, Dr. Ilias.
You have done so much for me thus far. might I ask one more favor?
There's no harm in asking.
Would you kindly destroy any research that Dr. Bancroft had yielded from his examination of me?
Oh, what a quandary for you, Doctor.
He says, says, please, I understand I am asking more, and you have risked much and will do so more. I will not be offended. We are all but what we are.
Dr. Elias will be quiet for a moment and will say, maybe a compromise. I understand where you're coming from, but there are some information gleaned that would be useful for medical procedures, for healing, for helping others, that could be isolated and would not necessarily lead back to you as an origin. Would you permit me to keep that?
Allow me to make one counter-proposal. If you remove any trace of what Dr. Bancroft collected, I will cooperate with you in your examinations. You can conduct any... Okay, so he shakes your hand. Whatever the storage device is that you guys have, that you've got it, he kind of gestures over and it flashes to life, and then I have left the rest of his information intact. It is only the specific information he yielded from me. Do you have any last things you wish to say to Dr. Bancroft before he is placed on ice?
Dr. Elias will just give him a long look and say, you brought this upon yourself. You will have some time to consider your ways. You probably won't change, but...
You'll see me again. You can't get away with this. And he's just going to keep going on until you, freeze him. Dr. Bancroft is... And as soon as he is sealed up, Ultima One says, it cannot be said that he is not persistent.
Anchor, maybe you're right. We should have killed him.
Where should we go now, then?
So Ganny says that to Anchor. Anchor says, well, Ganny, you're the engineer. You could sabotage that.
We'll give him one more chance. Maybe he'll learn.
We need him for season 2. Yes. that actor has a contract for the next season.
Exactly. Until he gets into some kind of embarrassing public thing and he's suddenly recast as someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, well. I guess we go and we don't blow the place up.
Okay.
Shame.
I will take a look through the core book and the central supply catalog. If there is anything that I think you guys could have salvaged from here, I will let you know. And then, because there's definitely got to be some medical stuff at the very least. But if there is anything else that might be pilfered and you're inclined, the air raft, I believe, has capacity for that, right?
Yeah, there isn't another air raft or grav bike or something cool.
You know what?
But it'd be his personal vehicle, right? I mean, I think that's probably a bad idea.
Well, maybe. We could sort of change the plates. I don't know.
What about that surgical unit? Could that surgical unit be?
Yes, definitely.
That's a great idea.
Yep. So there is actually a pretty interesting medical robot in the robot book.
Do we want to take those robots that can be like traced back to Judica, though, right? That's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't have them anywhere near our ship.
Now we could sort of keep them on ice and sell them later. I don't know. They'd be worth a lot of money.
It is one upside that those those things do. They're found almost anywhere across the.
We could reprogram them, scratch off the serial numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Easy things.
Replace the Judico.
Yeah.
Tags on them. Yeah.
Give them a respray. Yeah.
Well, let me look through. I'll post the information on there too. But there is some. Yeah. Oh, this is awesome too. This nurse bot.
Oh. Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool.
Nice.
It also looks like Expo Ernie from the 1985 World Exposition.
Yeah, and if he has a personal vehicle, I would say leave it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, let me take a look through. Like, it's not gonna. We're at the end of the session already, but I'll take a look and see if there's any stuff, and you guys can decide what you're going to take and how you're going to fit it in the cargo. And I'll do that right after the session as well too, over lunch. But any last things that we see or say as you guys are leaving the Bancroft Research Facility with your new passenger?
I think as Dane leaves, I think there's this moment where he sort of looks back wistfully at what might have been and then steps away.
It looks over and just goes... All right, so as we see the vehicle or your air raft heading back towards the Rift Wanderer, that'll bring us to the end of today's session. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 14 of the Borderland Run. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings in the description of the video, to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have a channel dedicated to... Do we have a channel dedicated to Traveler, or is it just a sort of game still? I gotta take.
Yeah, there's a Traveler one, I think.
There's a Traveler one.
There's
okay.
a Traveler one.
Yeah, so the Traveler channel, as well as most other games we run on the channel and most of the campaigns we run on the channel. You're more than welcome to join us over there. There's also a great group of folks over there. There's channels for finding groups, for DM discussion, for conventions, for all sorts of different things. You're more than welcome to join us over there. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have a great selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, including Traveler 2nd Edition. I actually, today, guys, I ordered... Remember I was grousing before about the... So, I love the special edition of the things, but there's a couple publishers who are doing this fucking thing where they're putting these metal tips on the... Pinnacle did it with their Savage Worlds ones, and these guys did. My Savage Worlds things fell off with use on my limited edition one, and this morning I noticed this one was coming off. So I ordered from Noble Knight a copy of the core book, and the core book from Noble Knight was already marked down, and I got my discount on it on top of that. So I've, copy. So, nice. And in addition to new games, Noble Knight Games also has a unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including... my order from today included a copy of the Mongoose Publishing Scrolls of Skelos, the magic book, because I realized that my copy I've got, there's some water damage at the back of it, so I wanted a new copy. But if they don't have something in stock that you're looking for, you can often put it on a want list, and then you can they'll send you an email when it comes in, and if you make a purchase of $10 or more of role-playing games, board games, card games, or out-of-print stuff, enter the code FALLMUSER at checkout, all one word, all caps, and you'll save yourself 10% in your purchase. I did today. There's also a... the code changes over time, so if you're listening to this at a later time, come back to one of our more recent videos and you'll find the discount code that is currently active. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That's the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really incredible organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children, including ongoing relief efforts at the time of recording, in Ukraine, in Morocco, in the Israel-Palestine region, in Afghanistan. So it's a very, very active, unfortunately a very active time for the need for them. All donations through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman, just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. And as a small way of saying thank you, throughout this year we have been running a year-long Year of Ill Omens campaign, all the elements of which have been shaped by the donors who have donated $10 or more to the Hero Save Villages campaign. On November 25th we'll be bringing that campaign to a close with our final session set in the 1980s with the heroes playing unlicensed paranormal investigators set in the 1980s, playing the classic D20 modern system. And we're going to be doing probably something over the holidays as well, too, but we don't have information about that. But we will be sharing that on the Charity Initiatives channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord server, which, again, you can find a link to in the description of this video. Last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart travelers. So, James, Graham, David, Carl, and Jeffrey, who's at home not feeling well. We hope you feel better soon, bud. Thank you, everybody, for just a fucking great session. I really enjoyed this one. First, got some shooting up, some role playing, some moral quandaries, and a new strange companion. And what more can I ask for from a session? Dane has the obvious answer: a fucking nuclear explosion. But you know, we will be back in the Borderland sector to see if our heroes are able to get away scot-free from Tech World. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours, take your mind off the troubles of our world, and think about the troubles that our stalwart travelers are trying to avoid from the completely faultless Judico Corporation. Judico, you trust us, right? And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.